Hey, welcome everyone. Um, what should we talk about today? I see some news here about DC Comics. Jay Lee responds to Batman writer Tom King's, and it says here DC Comics. Jay Lee responds to former Batman writer Tom King's that Lee was part of a hate group. King took issue with Lee after DC revealed Lee's variant cover Rorschach #1 is written by King and George Fornes on July 24th. It had been previously announced that Lee would be doing variant covers for Rorschach #1 on July 15th when they announced the series. King targeted Lee on Twitter, writing today, DC's put out an alternative cover to Rorschach by Jay Lee, who has done covers for Comicsgate, a hate group. He continued, DC does not consult my tongue is not working today. Sorry, it's Monday. DC's does not consult creators on alternative covers. I reach out to them to express my deep disappointment. As far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach #1, King concluded. Then he shared the main cover by Fornes. King would face backlash from Cyberfrog creator Ethan Van Sciver. Lee did a variant cover for Van Sciver's upcoming Cyberfrog 2, Wreck Planet. According to the Indiegogo campaign, Lee's variant cover has been backed by 1,186 people. Van Sciver wrote, "This is a shameful thing you're doing." He added, "History will judge you for it." In Squence's tweet, he added that we ain't a hate group. We are opposed to SJWs destroying this business with cancel culture while using marginal people as shields. He added, "You can't win because you're wrong and we're right." Van Sciver would also write on Twitter, "Ha ha, what a dork. Tom, go F yourself with this hate group shit. While you try to destroy a working artist who has been making people happy for decades, while you're only Batman simp." He added, and back Jay Lee's Wreck Planet cover here, everyone. No, I backed the Jay Lee's Wreck Planet cover. I have nothing against Jay Lee. I don't have anything against Ethan Van Sciver. I like what he's doing. So anyway, the article goes on and says later, he later added, "Cancel culture is wrong. It is immortal. Make no mistake, Tom King is afraid of social justice canceling him. That's why he's pointing out Jay Lee and screeching." He continued, "Comicsgate tolerates all this with a smile. We're on the right side of his story, and F you too." King would later write on Twitter, he spoke with Lee and stated, "We're all good." He especially wrote, "I spoke with Jay. He's not on Twitter, don't know Comicsgate exists, and doesn't support any hate of any kind." He added, "We're all good, best possible outcome." While Lee has taken to Instagram to respond to the entire situation in a very emotional post and directly contradicting King's, he began his post writing, "2 weeks ago, June and I took Loki to San Diego to see a specialist. He did not survive due to complications from the surgery." Lee continued, "This Friday was supposed to be a day of mourning. We were back in San Diego picking up his ashes. We're about to take him to the beach and comfort each other by sharing our fairy stories about our little boy." He then stated, "Instead, a part of the internet I avoid like a plague came barging in. I had companies I'm working for calling me, friends reaching out to me. I'm seeing hate pouring out of strangers' mouth, accusing me of things I have no knowledge of. I am seeing firsthand how fast lies are spreading. Let me be clear, I'm not part of any group, Lee added. He went on, he never made it to the beach. We spent an entire 6 hour drive back home on an emotional roller coaster. Lee then expressed his anger. I'm writing this because I'm angry. Those irresponsible tweets are not harmless. They just don't go away. They have real world consequences. He continues, they can take away your job, your life, your memories. June and I were robbed of a special day. So no, we're not at all good. Lee elaborated, this isn't the start of a conversation. This is the end. So please don't drag me into a world I never wanted to be part of, nor I ever want to be part of. Then he added in an optimistic note, I wanted to honor Loki by going back to producing art made with love for people who enjoy it for what it is. Something that hopefully brings joy into their lives. Finally, he concluded, Mommy and Daddy, miss you very much. Loki, our love. Van Sciver responded to Lee's Instagram posting by writing, for what it's worth, I love your art, Jay. It was happy to I was happy to able to hire you, and Cyber Frog fans love the cover you drew. He added, I am so sorry those activists ruined what meant to be a quiet family moment, attempting to punish you for it. Rip Loki. So what do you make of Jay Lee's response to Tom King? You know, I don't think it was very nice of King to go after Jay Lee. You know, people just don't understand that. That it's not a hate group. Comicsgate is not a hate group. And let me turn on the camera here for a moment, so everybody can see. I show you what I'm doing lately. And I'm back. There we are. This is a new page I just completed. Now I still have a little bit more work to do on it, but yeah, let me move the microphone out of the way a bit here. Yeah, so this is the latest page of Max Berger that's been somewhat getting blurry there. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I've got a little bit more work to do on the eyes here. I'll be putting it to my portable drawing table, and yeah. So one page is, I've got another page being on the drawing table right now. I got page, I think it's, let me see what it is, page 8. I've got page 8 going, and that's for book 3. So I've already got artwork done for issue 3, but I'm one of those people that I look at the artwork, oh well, I'm not so fussy about the artwork. I'm going to redraw it again and make it better. And when I did that one, issue 3, I kind of struggled with my eyesight a couple years back. So yeah, let me show you a couple of other pages that I completed as well. Worked in that one. That's the page just before the one I just showed. And it's a very simple one. It's not a pizza. It's not a puzzle. It's a manhole cover, and all those little marks on there are scratch marks on the metal. So it's a manhole cover. So yeah, and I'm waiting on some new pages for the North Shield. This is done by Tyler. He's doing some really great stuff for the North Shield. He's up to page, I think he says he's up to page 7 or 8. Here's a part of a splash page. So we're going to look for releasing the campaign for that one for Indiegogo after I shortly put the one up for Max Burger. Yeah, things are getting done here. So, what else should we talk about here today? We already talked about Tom King and his attacks on Jay Lee. I don't see anything in the comic books. Did anybody catch Stargirl? Yesterday's Stargirl. That was an excellent episode. I thought it was really well done. Wasn't expecting... I don't want to say too much about the show in case you haven't seen it. But Courtney has a downer in the episode, and or some disappointments, and there's some interesting stuff going on with the villains. Really like the villains. I like the way the story's going. Now, I've heard that they've got the show renewed for next year, but it's moving over to the CW. I'm not. And I guess with the CW shows, there's more of a lower budget put on these shows, so it's not going to look as good. But I really am digging this first season. It is really, really, really good. Here's some exciting news here. I'm a big Godzilla fan. So there's a report that Godzilla vs. Kong, Serpent Titan, finally revealed with a new name. It says here, we finally have an official reveal of the new snake-like Titan being introduced in Godzilla vs. Kong when it hits theaters, and it has a new name. Now they have in brackets here, spoilers ahead. The glimpses of an image that comes from Playmate's box art for the GVK line. It was shared by Instagram by SB_toys, who posted regularly about action figures from Godzilla to Marvel. You can't see it here, but it's like a serpent with wings. It says, feast your eyes on the exclusive bloodthirsty beast below. Its name is now Warbat, which is a lot more memorable and able to sell more toys. The new norm du jour is also further proof that things can fly. Note the red fin wings and the curvature of its tail. GodzillaMovies.com believes that Warbat is a new title for the Norsuki seen sparring among the figures in the leaks from the Hong Kong Expo earlier this year. That Titan was very similar to appearance, says the site, except for the different paint, apps, and a different head sculpt. Of course, the different name. They also find it interesting that legendary Warner Brothers saw it fit to change the name. For whatever reason, it may have sounded too much like the name of Godzilla's unexplained nephew in the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, Godzuna, who also had fins for wings. Godzuna was so silly they couldn't have decided that they didn't want. They couldn't have decided they didn't want their new fearsome creature confused with him. It already draws comparison to a monster from the Fox Kids Godzilla animated series based on the amalgamated 1998 film. The Warbat, like Godzilla Godzuki, has been explained to its origins. It's still a mystery. It could dwell within the hollow earth beneath Skull Island, possible since speculation suggests it fights Kong. It might be the results of experiment to create a man-made titan. We don't quite know what happens to Gamora's severed head. The appendage may have grown into the serpent monster, but a leak we reported claimed Gorara is chained up and guarded while he regenerates. Gorara's powers have a chance of being influenced by over Kong or Megazilla, but a full-blown Constitution Monster Zero probably won't be ready for action. Mechanized or not, Warbat joins the Godzilla and Kong 11 and 6-inch toys revealed via Walmart listings. Godzilla vs. Kong will hopefully see its final destination in theaters in May 2021. So any Godzilla fans out there? Yeah, I'm a fairly big Godzilla fan. Can't speak some of the words, but I'm a big Godzilla fan. And there's a rumor that the Batman is to continue filming in studio, could include a scene teasing the Joker. Batman could be headed back into production soon. Paramedics and lockdown be damned. Warner Brothers may have figured a way around all that, and there might be a glimmer of truth to the rumors that the Joker will figure into Matt Reeves' new take on the Dark Knight. YouTube channel Warstu shared and addressed these rumblings in a recent video. To begin with, gyms and other places in the UK are set to reopen after July 25th. That, according to his sources, would allow for filming to resume on one condition. The Batman can start filming as soon as September, so as long as it goes out indoors to a studio environment. Precautions would be easier to take out, and there would be a greater control of light and the elements. Roughly 25% of the movie is done, Warsu noted. If cast and crew stay inside, he doesn't see it going well for the rest of the shoot. He claims all plans are being scrapped and new sets are being built. No matter how big the stage, if it's the size of a football pitch, the Batman would have been shot in a studio straight away. And had that been what they wanted, said Hushu. Taking nothing away from Matt Reeves or something like that, Mandalorian filmed mostly on sets. He makes it sound like they're trying to get the project done as fast as possible, while taking into account the skittishness over the beer bug. Warshu cites a Hollywood Reporter article saying, Tinseltown wants to avoid lawsuits that could come if somebody returning to work gets sick or tests positive. Many reportedly don't want to come back, yet due to that fear, keeping things in-house might be a plan B to deal with. He also worries that studio film has potential weakening the epic quality and aesthetic of fight scenes. The Batman could look no better than a DC CW drama with cheap, limited fights. Filmmaking thrived for decades on sound stages, but location shooting is preferable for realism unless a movie goes full CGI. Christopher Nolan had his share of interiors, but Batman Begins especially went all out with locations and exteriors. The last time Batman was shot almost exclusively on set, Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher were directing. And I thought my jokes were bad, Wushu continues with two Joker scoops out there in the ether. The first is the Batman will include a scene teasing the Joker for a sequel, and a rumor consisting of on a radar. What the scene entails is unclear, except it was said to be a cameo taking place in Arkham. Wershow doesn't get very specifics, but he says, however, William Dafoe is a favorite to play Reeves' incarnation of the Clown Prince of Crime, adding this inking is lingered on since late June at the least, and they've been talking about him being the Joker for a long time. Dafoe has been mentioned more than once in connection playing with the Joker. All the fans' art proves that he's a popular fantasy choice. Other alleged forerunners are Bradley Cooper and Johnny Depp, who gained traction as a prospect despite his recent woes. I like the idea of Dafoe in the role on paper. He has the right facial, plus the resume requires creepiness for it, and has for decades since Mick Keaton has worn the cape. The problem is he's getting on in years, and he may be too old by now. Like Robert Englund playing Freddy Krueger one more time, it might be best to give it up on that dream. So you telling us you're excited about the Batman might work around the pandemic to see completion? Or are you looking forward to a Matt Reeves spin on the Joker? What do you think? Yeah, let's see. Any more stuff coming on? It looks like Star Wars and Lando Calrissian author Al Neil Smith has nothing but utmost contempt for Walt Disney's successors. So Arthur L. Neil Smith, who wrote the Lando Calrissian novel trilogy, the Lando Calrissian. I'll get my tongue working. Eventually, Lando Calrissian Adventures back in 1983 had some sharp words for Disney and Lucasfilm. The Lando Calrissian Adventures chronicles Calrissian's smuggling days before the original Star Wars trilogy. The book, titled Lando Calrissian and the Mind Sharp Shrew, begins after Lando wins the Millennium Falcon and a robot in a game of Sabacc. I think I pronounced that right. In order to claim the robot, he has to travel to the planet of Rafa 4, where he is arrested and then tasked with retrieving the legendary Mind Harp that just happens to be located within the multi-dimensional pyramid that has a mind-altering properties. In the second book, Lando Calrissian and Flame Wind of Ocean, Lando is accompanied by his droid Vivia Ra and sets out to become an honest freight captain. However, after some bad luck, he quickly returns to his smuggling ways. He eventually sets out on the planet of Ocean after being invited of a game of Sabacc. However, upon arriving on this planet, he's arrested again, and this time for possessing weapons. In order to avoid execution, he takes on a smuggling contract. The third and final novel by the trilogy, Lando Calrissian and in the Star Cave of Thung Bunk, takes place years after Lando and Vivia Ra left the planet of Ocean. While traveling through space, they encounter and befriend a vacuum-breathing creature called Lishu, a native of Tongbunga Nebula. After befriending Lishu, the Thungbunga Nebula comes under attack from the Imperial Centrality Navy. Lando and Ra come into the aid of their friend with a smooth-taking smuggler conning his way through the Imperial blockade. Eventually, a battle breaks out involving Lishu, Lando, and Vifia, the Imperial Navy. All three books would eventually collect into Lando Calrissian Adventures. An interview with Star Wars Interviews back in January, Smith asked what he thought of his Lando trilogy becoming a part of Legends and being deemed non-canon. Smith responded, "Fifi and I don't know that we don't give a rat's ass. Considerations like that are decided by literary history, not by faceless, unscrupulous, dull-witted corporate managers," he added. Smith then stated, "I was the world's greatest fan of Walter alias Disney himself growing up, and have nothing but utmost contempt for his profoundly unworthy successors." Smith would also be asked how he'd look back on his Star Wars work. He answered, "That's very difficult to answer, both truthfully and politically mixed feelings." He continued, I wrote these three little books under terrible conditions. Wasn't paid very well for them, wound up finding an agent over them, and had to threaten to sue before I got paid royalties." He then added, "On the other hand, thousands of individuals apparently love those three little books. I hear from them all the time, and I'm more grateful and appreciative about that I can adequately express." Smith also explained that he wasn't allowed to use any characters or settings from the movies in the trilogy. He explained, "I was allowed to use no characters for setting up the movie. I insisted on the Falcon or I wouldn't do the job." He added, "I originally planned for my villain, Rokorajipita, to be Dark Lord of Sith, but that wasn't allowed. Any animal species I mentioned, like Banas, were to be capitalized. Any I invented were to be lowercase. Very petty, I thought." For his favorite character that he created, he made no bones about it, that it was Fifi Ra. He explained that to ask that question is to answer it. I need Vivi Ra to as a foil to Landon's wit, sort of a Watson to his Holmes. I miss him very much, even today, but I can't write about him because he's intellectual property of Lucasfilm. I deeply respect the intellectual property rights and have abided by them," he stated. Smith's Lando trilogy would be referenced as Solo, a Star Wars story, while Han and Chewbacca were on Kessel. Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian is documenting the Calrissian Chronicles. In Chapter 5, he mentions the Sharu. However, instead of Fifi, he references L337. Grover's Calrissian states that the Calrissian. I'm going to give up speaking today. The Calrissian Chronicles Chapters 5 continue. Personally, I wasn't that impressed with the Sharu. No sense of humor, no style. Nonetheless, there was L3, and I was deep in their sacred temple, and that's when we saw it. So, what do you make of Smith's comments for the Lando series? Hey, thanks for the like there, Todd. Yeah, I'm giving my best today. It's just the tongue is not working. It's just not Not working with the mind there. I know. It looks like there's a clip from Zack Snyder's Justice League debuts reviewing Superman's black suit. Have you anybody seen that yet? The black suit's Superman yet? The Zack Snyder's version. Comic book con at home is underway, and the event just laid down the first official sneak peek of Zack Snyder's Justice League. It confirms a major detail suspected for some time: Superman's black suit. The 18-second clip starts by riffing Justice Park, and a resurrected Man of Steel flies off screen, but the faint echo of a sonic boom can be heard. It calls ripples in Alfred's glass of brandy, or some spirit. Somewhere then dressed in the black levitates to the ground in either the Batcave or a garage, where Alfred is working on a car, saying to him, "You must be Alfred." He reveals the two are meeting for the first time. You can also briefly hear Zack Snyder's voice in the end. With further ado, and there's a video there. I'm not going to play it. I haven't learned how to. I think I have to be in Google to be able to share my screen. So I'm in Firefox. So anyway, it cuts back to early It cuts back early, so Alfred doesn't get a word in. But the clip seems to repudiate a popular rumor involved in the scene at the time. Rumor which seems to begin with Kevin Smith on his Fat Man Beyond podcast, detailed that Alfred was approached by the Green Lantern and said, "Let's hope you're not too late." Smith backed himself up by claiming he knew people on the set that told him that green lights were doubling for an actor. Convention wisdom dedicated Alfred was really talking to Superman when the tidbit appeared in the first trailer. The scene didn't make it into the 2017 film, but its presence in the Snyder Cut is all but vindicated. Snyder's Justice League drops on HBO Max in 2021. Our next look at it, or third after the above, and Wonder Woman scooping out a mural, was announced by Snyder during CC at Home Justice Con. A teaser is coming August 22nd to coincide with DC fandom. It may be a small clip, but Snyder mentioned in his recent interview with Grace Randolph, he discussed in that same interview his intention for Superman grounding journey across his DC films and what he hopes to tap into when Superman rises from the grave. Now, with the resurrection sort of theme, who is he now? Snyder wondered, when you touch the eternal, in the sense that coming back from the grave, how are we changed by that? Do you like the news? Have you seen the new suit? What do you think of it, if you've seen it? Now let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, it looks like they're still doing the Suicide Squad. Dick Ayers shares screening page further to confirm his cuts with Suicide Squad. Dick Ayers offered more evidence. His original cut of Suicide Squad exists, and its ending to be far different. Director shared an image from the script on social media and promptly screen grabbed and disseminated online, making it to Reddit and other forums. Naturally, we got a hold of it too. The following picture captured on Instagram comes from a story from Ayers shared through his official account. The above portion of the scene paints an ending wholly distinct and more complex than the movie release. However, in that one, the squad fought Enchantress, Incubus, and cutting on the former's heart. Era's ending would have involved Jay Leto's polarizing Joker and played on his off-again toxic relationship with Harley Quinn. Harley sticks by her man, holding Amanda Waller's donator and controls the implants, ready to make some heads explode. She does Enchantress's bidding for Joker's sake, at least for the moment. Other social media's posts by Era, various leaks indicate that Joker was going to have a bigger role in the film, and then at the climax, Enchantress was supposed to seduce him with a promise of making him Mr. J. King Gotham. Neither the scene nor the subplot made it the cut yet to any skeptical I'm gonna have to trade my tongue in today. I'll have to go and get a new one. I mean, this might be the new one, you know. Anyway, according to Hollywood, the scene, according to sequences in the pictured page, was filmed. Fans weren't not permitted to see it, says Ayer. Embroidered by the president, said by Snyder Cut Justice League and its related campaign, fans are pushing for the release of the Suicide Ayer's cut. David Ayer encourages his effort, but concludes it's up to Warner Media to get the ball rolling. Minus vague hints at sending out by Warner Brothers, AT&T, Twitter accounts. Recently releasing the Ayer's cut does not appear to be a priority at this time. If Zack Snyder's Justice League does well, it may mean the difference. Let us know if the comments if you want to see the Ayer's cut released, and what do you think of the page the director shared. I don't know. I wasn't that fussy about the Suicide Squad. Yeah, so I don't see anything else abounding in the comics. So I'm just gonna chat until I see somebody else come in. It doesn't. I can't seem to read today, so I'll have to do a review tomorrow of Perfect 10. We'll go through that book. I touched on it a few times in previous episodes, but I really like the book. Is there anything else that you want me to talk about? Anything you've heard in the comic book business? Just leave a comment here. Because there's nothing much new in the news except for Tom King and Jay Lee responding to Tom King and the Snyder Cut Superman suit. So it's not a really exciting week. And I think I might be switching. Instead of going to Facebook Live, I'll be just going YouTube. So, people want to join me will have to join up to my YouTube channel. I'll probably leave links when I go live, but I don't think I'm gonna be sharing stuff on Facebook. I might be going to just LinkedIn. I only have two websites I can share this live video. That's either Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and I can only do two at a time. So I might be just going full LinkedIn and YouTube, or just YouTube alone. And if you want to come over, you can come over to my Takeout Comics YouTube channel and subscribe. So I'm gonna stay on for a few more minutes. I see some like I do have notifications here of people coming in and going. I don't know if it's your connections or what, or you just catch me at a bad time not talking about something. Um, but I'm going to continue doing this. Quite, I like it. I can, I'm going to show you some more of my stuff when I get going. Um, so yeah, we got a whole bunch of projects coming up. Um, I got the video almost done for the Indiegogo. That will be launching. I am really pushing to get it. Either got to stay up all night and get it done. The Indiegogo is going to launch August 1st. That's going to be just signing up for the newsletter, and then the book will probably launch in October or November for the campaign. So you can once that goes, you can sign up for that. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just got a little cyber frog in my throat here. But yeah, it goes live August the 1st. I'm just gonna have to run the video through and make sure it sounds right, the right images are in, and then I start with the campaign. So I'm quite excited to get that going. Hopefully that I'll get this one funded, and then I can do some more Indiegogo projects coming up. I've got Max Burger to come out. Max Burger number 2 is coming. I'm not sure if I'm going to be coloring it, or if the number 1 for Max Burger is successful. I might look for a colorist to do book 2, and I am working on 3. I really, I talked to a few months ago. I talked to Frega Boom, or Dan Frega, and we were talking about Indiegogo, and he was suggesting that for rewards, offer a Max Burger in color. Max Burger was always, when I started doing it, it was always intended to be black and white. So it may go color. We'll see. Maybe I can have a couple versions, one in black and white and one color. So if you prefer the black and white, you can always get the black and white. I see a lot of fightings in between SJWs and the comic book industry. I'd like to see the SJWs go away. I'm tired of their ranting and their complaining about culture, and everything's got to be changed, So yeah, I think that's going to be it for me for now. I'll be back on tomorrow. Glad that you joined. I'm really glad that at least I have somebody listening. I do miss Sean. Sean is usually in here chatting up a storm with me. I'm going to see if I can get some more guests to come on. let me know what you who would you like to see on my show if I can get them. If they're still friends with me, and or maybe I can find a co-host that I can maybe once a week or twice a week have a conversation with. I can bounce back and forth with, and you guys can have fun listening to that. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast. Everybody, take care and be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Bye bye.